everyone, and welcome to, I guess, a special edition of MEC POD. I've been trying to figure out if I'm calling this 2.5 or what are we doing with this, but, we got...
3/4.
Yeah. We'll go the Kingdom Hearts angle, we'll just throw a bunch of numbers after it, it'll be fine. But, I
like that.
Castle Marquez coming in, we got GVU and Purdue Northwest. How are y'all doing?
I'm definitely doing pretty well. Excited for another duo interview-ish kind of thing with Castle again.
Also doing well. Also always excited to be on the mic with Marquez and be on the mic with you as well, Travysty. Love your cast in our games.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. I'm glad that I got to cast the finals because it was actually a banger. Was it GVU or Purdue Northwest that was like, yo, let's do the revenge draft, fearless draft?
I swear it was GVU.
Look, I'm not gonna take any credit. These guys are super creative. that was an amazing idea.
Bro, I wanted to do snake draft. That would have been better than anything.
Me too. Snake draft way fearless. Hey.
Oh, that would have been cool too. That would have been cool. I honestly, I walked away from it and I immediately was just like, can we get fearless draft next MEC event? Like, can we just do all fearless? It's so fun to actually just watch and kind of theory craft behind the scenes, because it's funny because you guys were picking all this non-meta stuff at the very beginning and they were like, dude, game number 3 is gonna be a Zir Corki, let's go.
Bro, I told them like, no, we're taking these guys super seriously. I'm playing mid lane against Castle. Look, I'm not playing another Darius affiliate bot lane. I'm sorry. Not another one.
Not again.
That game took forever to end too.
You guys were matching each other mid. Castle, I think when I looked at Discord, it looked like it was you that brought up the idea of like, yo, face me mid. Is there any kind of story behind the face me mid matchup, or were you guys just like vibing?
It was more of a thing like, yo, don't go hiding in the jungle behind these tanks, bro. Like, come and play against me mid. And then like the first game he played Ornn mid, I was like, bro, you're playing some boring shit. But then the next 3 games he played like, I'll say somewhat respectable champions. The Jace was respectable. The TF was respectable. Then he decided to go Malzahar game 3.
Damn. Can I at least defend myself here?
Yeah. No. The platform's yours. Go ahead, defend yourself.
Okay, I played at least one Vi game in the jungle. Come on, you gotta give me some credit.
That's
At least
your
one.
defense? That's your defense?
My defense is I played at least one bye game.
Look, as for the R, bro, look at what we picked. If I didn't pick Engage, bro, we're losing that game. You locked in Cassiopeia Talia, bro. Come on, it was cooked.
Respect to Marquez though. He played decent champions throughout the 3 games. He's a coach, so like he's not expected to be keeping up with the other players, but I think he played pretty well.
Hey,
GG's to PNW.
Not on stream.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, you don't normally get expected into that situation. You guys have also both been coaches as well. Castle, you coached inside of open qualifiers before, here and there, right? So like, you guys,
for Team Ambition.
Yeah, you guys have a little bit of experience each and every way. So is there also like, how did you guys meet through the collegiate matchup between the two of you, or was it more so through like going through amateur that you guys kind of got to know?
I know how he's gonna word it. Just go.
So
bro.
I used to play in like a lot of these tier 3 leagues, like basically GM cap leagues, and for like probably a consistent year and a half straight, I would just farm Marquez's teams.
Okay. Here
so
he goes.
he eventually like he wanted me on his side to and then he ended up recruiting me, and I played for him under Lotus with like Pluto, Psycho, and all them, like a bunch of cool guys. And yeah, so I mean we've known each other through the scene for at least like 4 years. I would say like interactions started like probably around like last year, like a year ago, year and a half maybe.
Okay.
I hated this man for like a whole year and a half. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah, I was about to
Every
say.
time I had to play against him in like finals, bro. It wasn't even fair.
Bro, honestly though, like when you compete inside of like these different leagues and stuff like that, like I had that same experience, man. Like I would go into a tournament and I'd be like, all right, yeah. I would be inside of a league like playing like Blue Otter or something like that, and I'd be like playing against the same dude 5 times in a row, and I'm just like, dude, can I please get this guy out of my lane? I'm so sick of him. He plays the most annoying things.
Yeah, those leagues are fun.
My teams. Like, I was hoping, like, can somebody eliminate him, please? I want a chance.
I would be like watching the games and semifinals, like, come on, guys, I'm cheering for you. I got money on this, please.
know the pain. You know exactly how it feels.
Dude, especially when it's a team that like reverse swept you prior or something like that. Like they did something that you're never going to forget. So it's just like, yeah, get this guy out of my face. I'm done with it. I don't want to play against this Gwen player or something like that. I'm done. Do you guys also have like a shared thing of players now where Prank was originally over at GVU and now he's over at Purdue? Does Prank ever like get heated up before the matches? I gotta ask. Like he's like, I can't lose to my old team.
Well, Prank comes into matches pretty much the expectation of we're gonna do our best, we're gonna win, because he's obviously the most experienced person on the team, but he also holds everybody accountable. You know, he's used to winning a lot.
Yeah.
And I think he gets more fired up if we don't play well. You'll see fired up Prank. That's all I gotta say.
I'm ready for it. Castle, is this true? Can you uphold to this? You did play with Prank for a bit of time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Prank's a really passionate player. I love playing with Prank, and I'm really happy that he's continuing to play, and he has like a decent team now, and like it'll be actual competition against him instead of him just like randomly joining like just a team for the degree, and he just like has gold players on his team or something. But yeah, he definitely gets fired up when he's against people he knows, or like people he has history against or something like that, and he also is like really passionate when he like if we're in a bad streak or something like that, or we're having like a bad week of scrims, or we lose a game maybe we shouldn't have, but it's never like any hateful attitude. It's always just like the love for the game, the love for the team.
Well, we've been pretty wholesome, I would say. There's been a little bit of banter, but it's been pretty wholesome for the past couple of minutes. Do you guys, we a lot of times talk about the different levels of competition. I've actually talked to a lot of people who have just been watching MEC and whatnot. Do you guys have like a team or a player that you guys are kind of keeping your eyes on then? Because we actually, the casters especially, we talk a lot about the teams, and we talk about like Ohio Northern as being a possibility to mess with y'all. Ottawa Braves, of course, is always up there in the recognition. Do you guys have anybody specific y'all are keeping your eyes on? You can't say GVU or Purdue Northwest, okay? Neither one of those. Both of those are options you cannot choose.
I mean, for GV at least, I guess like the one team outside of PNW would be the Ottawa, of course. They were one of the few, like them and Illini were the only teams that could take a series off us last semester. I do think they lost a lot of power in Trickster. Like Trickster is someone you can't just replace on that team. Like no jungler they were going to get was going to come in and be what Trickster was for that team. So while I do think they got weaker, I don't think like they're bad. I think they still take games off any team in the tournament. ONU we play this weekend. ONU has some good players, and they also did like the off-roll thing with us at the LAN, which is pretty cool. They got a little salty about it, but at the end of the day, it's all fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just like ONU and Ottawa, I believe.
Nobody likes losing. So.
What's our? I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
I do share the same sentiment, and I guess I'll add on a little bit to it. I kind of break up teams in the conference on two different levels. One on a basis of, do these guys have any level of standard play, or do they just kind of speed draft hoping they smash lanes enough to close out a game? And I mean that in all due respect to everybody. It is what it is. But I think only some of these teams would even be able to hold themselves up to a level outside of MEC. And for that, I would definitely say it's Ottawa. I would have to see a little bit more from ONU. Obviously, they're undefeated right now, but if you also look at the teams that they've played, I'd be very surprised if you weren't undefeated, if you were even a remotely decent team. I'm just going to throw the shade and say that, I guess.
Yeah, they've had a pretty good strength of schedule. It's something that we've talked about in terms of like if you look at who they're played against and what the records are, you can't lie about that, unfortunately. I like a lot of the lower teams because I do find that they have some like interesting ideas that are there. There was I think it was against GVU actually. There was like a TK mid against an Azir. I think that was GVU. I'm trying to recall off the top of my head.
It was.
But, yeah,
I remember it because King Call Michael like disrespected it, and he literally started like Sapphire Crystal.
Yeah.
And then he went down like 15 CS and was getting shoved out of lane. He's like, guys, I shouldn't have done this.
Dude, I was screaming inside the cast because I was like, yo, I like this idea. I see what he's working with. You know, you play Azir, you move your soldiers up forward, real cocky like. You make mistakes like that thinking you can trade, and then Tom Kench jumps in on you and you have no escape. You can't really get away. So if the jungler isn't there, aha. And I was just like screaming into the mic like, yo, Jin Zhao, you need to come and gank your lane. Your TK is putting in work. Gank this lane. You can kill this Azir, please.
Michael was getting clapped in that matchup. TK deserved to win that game.
I mean, I appreciate how creative. There's another player out there, Eliza from Cornell is somebody I actually really enjoy talking about their champ pool because they play a lot of non-traditional top laners. They played Cho'Gath, Urgot. They played Volibear over the weekend, and I started yelling because I was like, "The champion's bad. Stop it!"
I like that guy. Hey.
Like, I'm excited for the Volibear buffs personally myself, but is there any, like, do you guys see some of the people kind of swimming around with some of those unique picks and go, man, Jin Zhao mid, you know, in this past weekend? Has that affected you guys at all going forward?
For
You go first, bro.
Yeah. I think I think last year actually there was a lot more like unique random picks and stuff. Like I think this year the only team that really did it would be like I guess Cornell is doing picks like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like Ottawa has like their jungler is a Belveth player. They have some stuff like that. And then I think PNW can also get pretty creative just because they do have like the ADC main who moved to support. So like double ADC or maybe Senna lanes or like stuff like that, like stuff he's just used to playing with.
We're cooking a little bit. Hey, that's all I gotta say. Just wait till we play.
I'm scared of what you guys cook because I still remember, I think it was week 1 where your Purdue had taken on Ottawa, where you guys had Doubtful just go in there and Prod got that Belveth and bro, it looked personal between Doubtful and Prod in that game.
I will say, for that week in particular, we wanted to come out with a bang. So we actually practiced our whole week of scrims playing for Ottawa. Just, yeah, you know, we wanted to make sure it was felt. And I do think, obviously, with Prod's champion pool, it's more farm-centric junglers anyway. So it's very easy to play off just with bot prior lanes anyway. So
I do want to ask, since both of you guys have been inside of it and we're talking about Ottawa, do you guys think that there's ever a chance that they might look to swap around players again, though, like they did last year? Because if you remember last year, Blonde played like the first half and then they put in Riverside. And I never got confirmation on why that happened, if there was something that was happening behind the scenes or maybe Blonde just needed some time away from the team. But do you think that that is ever a possibility, or you think Blonde is just here to stay and is that mid laner, that guy?
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
Mr. Castle. I will say that my CeeLo knowledge is obviously very limited, so I can't just say, oh yeah, you know, Ottawa's known for this or that. I will say, when you have as deep of a player pool that Ottawa does, experimentation is always good. You always want to see how can you improve your team. Maybe they find that they have better matches with certain players. Maybe some other players just push up very well. Ultimately, I would encourage experimentation for them. Not that I think they're bad, it's just you never know what kind of creative combinations you can find. Especially if you have a roster that big. Hey, go for it.
I think if they did swap around, it would only ever be mid lane. I can't imagine them thinking any of their players are a better support than Plux. I can't imagine them thinking any of their players are better AD than Levi Pug. I do think, personally, I'm more afraid of when we're loading against Ottawa and we see River more than I am when we're loading against Ottawa and we see Blonde. So I do think that change could happen. You know, maybe if they end up like losing hard to us, if they win against us, I'm sure they'll keep Blonde in. But I think that'll probably be the cause for change, because that's kind of what happened last year, where they lost 2-0 to us, and then they're like, oh, we need to make a change, and then they dropped Blonde for River.
Yeah, I've always been interested in it just from other players' perspectives inside of MEC, just because I always look at Blonde and I'm like, all right, this is a really good, like, they're really good at playing like the control mage matchups, right? They're really good at those. But then I look at Riverside and I'm like, that's your Akali and like assassin play that comes into play. So I'm like, they got differing champion pools, and then they added Killer Guy to their roster as well. So I was just like, they got 3 mid laners on their team, and 2 of them are subs. So I always, it's one of those things I look at and I'm like, I remember last year.
Yeah.
All right. Are you guys? Would you guys be scared of any teams if it was best of 1? I think that's a very interesting thing to think about, though.
You wanna go first, or should I?
Yeah, I mean, I think best of 1 would be. I guess it'd be more so just fearing the, like, not lesser teams, but the weaker. I guess the weaker teams, like, for example, like playing against PNW or Ottawa in a best of 3, like whether it's best of 1, best of 3, best of 5, like we should go in with like respecting our opponent and fearing that like there's a world they can beat us. Obviously, we're going to go in with the mindset to win, but I think changing it to a best of 1, then like that's when you could end up dropping games, or like I guess technically it'd be a series to like these teams like ONU or Briarcliff, who are like middle of the pack, Drury, who are like middle of the pack teams. I think that's when they become scarier.
I personally feel like if it was best of 1s, the team I'd be the most scared of would probably be Briarcliffs. They do a ton of flexing in draft, and for me, it'd be like, oh man, come on guys, lock in. I could do it.
But Briarcliff is like the team that I look at and I'm like, dude, their record should be better. I sincerely think that. I feel like their record should just be better than what it is. And every single time I look over, I'm like, man, you guys have the potential to be like fighting for that number 3 spot and then trying to like see if you can contend with like Purdue and GVU, who was a lot of people's favorites. I also think like some of the other teams would have some more suffering. I think Ohio Northern would be actually I think they would have had a record without a single win if it was best of 1s. I don't know if you've seen their best of 1, their game 1s have been atrocious. So
Right, I know they lost first game to Cornell, so that would have been a series loss right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They tend to have like, I've talked to him about it in interviews. I'm like, yo, game 1, what happened? And every single time it's like, I don't know, man. We're just asleep. Like, that's terrifying if it was ever best of 1. I always think, like, I played best of 1 so often because no leagues ever do best of 3 until you get into playoffs. So I'm very happy that we get best of 3s all the way into playoffs. Because if it was best of 1s, I'd be losing my mind as a caster. But as a player, it used to stress me out. Some of those flex picks, like teams like Briarcliff, used to make me so anxious.
Yeah, best of 1, like last year was double round robin, best of 3s. Like I prefer prefer best of 3s, of course, but like last year we played so many games. So it was 14 best of 3s, if I'm remembering correctly.
True, yeah.
And it was double round robin, or not double round robin, sorry, double elimination, which it is again this year.
Yeah, it's double elimination playoffs, and like you said, double round robin, which I feel like it kind of gave us a more precise, like, who's where, right? I felt like it was pretty accurate, despite like last year Illinois College kind of reverse swept everybody from losers bracket and just kind of ran the gauntlet, which was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, from 8th seed to 4th, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, Sage Wabe putting in the work inside of some of those fights. We love to see it. Do you have a team that you would like pick that's like in the bottom 4? That's like a team that could possibly make that miracle run right now then? If you were like, playoffs are going to be here sooner than we know it. Do you think you have a team that you're like, I put money on this?
Let me look at the standings really quick.
Yeah. I should have set up a graphic to flip
without
over.
looking at standings, it'd probably be Briarcliff. I'm pretty sure they're in the bottom 4.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely
like
think they're a lot better than the standings, yeah.
Yeah, I think they've just had some, like, they basically couldn't find an ADC, so I do think their ADC is just like someone they found in the esports club.
I think that was the guy I played Vi versus, actually.
Yeah, like obviously no flame or disrespect or anything, but like it's just like obviously your team's gonna be weaker if you like lose a member, and just kind of have to throw someone on just for the sake of having a 5th player. But like I do think overall they're a good team. and they work well together.
Mhm.
They had a pretty good game against ONU at the LAN as well. Like they beat ONU, coming back from like a 15K gold lead or something like that. Like their 5-man work is good. They just need to be able to escape their lanes.
I can agree with that. For me personally, the thing that I feel like they have for sure going for them, I think their top mid especially are actually extremely strong players fundamentally. And I do like how creative their pools are. They're not afraid to pick very aggressive picks, and they do have a decent flex potential as well too in terms of champion pools. Because Kamir, I mean, I haven't seen him play a standard champion yet, but his unique champions are definitely very enjoyable. I will give him credit there. I do agree that I think that team will struggle with how strong bot lane is at the moment in this league, and that's something that they do need to patch up. But if they can do that, I can see that team absolutely going top 4. Absolutely. Pound for pound, I think their top jungler strong players.
All I need y'all to do then is stop banning Seraphine Karma, and you know what? Things can start going along for them. All right, listen, you guys have the power to empower this team. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. But have y'all gotten a chance to look at the patch notes or anything like that for this coming up patch?
Actually, yes, I did do a little bit of digging. Funny enough.
Okay, good. That's what I like to hear from a coach.
Thank you.
I have no clue what's going on.
I guess.
Lead me through. Do you have anything that's very exciting for you coming up then? Because for me, I saw the Volibear changes and immediately was like, yes, they're giving him some movement speed on his Q. Jungle Bear is coming back, baby.
Are they buffing Lee Sin?
No.
Right. Patch doesn't change anything for me.
Sorry, your champion is dead in the water until Worlds comes around, or till MSI.
So, I will say, looking at the patch, one of the changes I'm very interested in, I know that people are very upset about the Jace E changes, but overall, those look like really good buffs for him. Aatrox is getting a buff for some reason too, which I'm a little confused at. I've got to be honest here.
There's a bigger one that makes me confused.
Yeah. One change that I'm very interested in as well too is the Ace Hold nerfs. Nobody's really played it yet, and I haven't seen it played much. But obviously, if you look at like solo queue win rates, the champion apparently is overtuned. I haven't seen it in scrims, I haven't seen it in competitive, so that's kind of the barrier that I want to see as well too. Is he another mid lane champion that can come back and compete with the Azir? I don't even want to say Talia, I think she's okay. With the Ori, with the Nico as well, or are we going to see the same mid lane champions?
I feel like that might be a little bit of course, like Asol's playstyle, right? Like if it was a Kali that just got buffed or something like that, it would be you would see it all over the place, right? Like people
would be winning that champion.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
that got buffed.
Yeah, like there would be a Kali. Silas would be all over the place if it got buffs like that too. Like Asol's really strong. I just don't think people look at the champion, they play one game and like, man, this is boring, man. I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be this dragon. I don't feel like I'd rather play the other baby dragon that sneezes on people, you know? At least then I could like scream for mom whenever I ult.
What do you think of the Rek'Sai changes with her getting her AoE knockback back and them pretty much buffing tank playstyle for her again? I'm kind of curious to see how that goes.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think actually like Rek'Sai is a champion that I think gives a really unique playstyle. Castle, are you gonna play Rek'Sai for us with these buffs? Huh?
Yeah, are you gonna play Castle?
Yeah. Can we know?
I'd like to know.
Find out? Let's go.
I don't personally know what the buffs are, but if Rek'Sai is viable, it used to be one of my best champs. So
Interesting.
You'll see some games from it.
Oh, we certainly won't be.
Tank gets a tunnel from behind the big ass boulder in top lane.
Dude, everybody hates that, dude. Rek'Sai and Zach just come in from out of nowhere from the weirdest angles, and it's just like, dude, where did you come from? Why are you here?
I'm telling you, my first game against Prank, I'm gonna walk straight up through his lane. He's not even gonna know he's getting ganked. He's gonna think I'm his teammate. He's gonna think I'm helping him push the wave.
Oh man, do you think that would mess with people? Actually, you saying that if Nico could actually copy like enemy champions, do you think that would mess with people? I think that would be funny.
I can't imagine thinking. I can't imagine thinking in a competitive format like a that me turning into a Caitlyn and then just walking side by side playing the auto.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, that's not me, guys. I'm literally dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking like they pretend that you're the jungler from your side, right? Like your jungler goes mid, he comes in, ganks, and Nico says, "Ah, man, screw this. I'm gonna be Xin Zhao now. I'm gonna teleport top lane and be like coming up for a gank, make them think that I'm coming in for the gank, and really surprise, it's Nico." I think it would be very funny. It would only affect gold and below, but it would still be very funny.
You might need a Nocturne on your team to pull off that strategy.
That would make that combo so broken, bro.
Dude,
Oh
Nocturne
my
Nico, yo.
Jesus. Well, okay, but how does that work with like Viego? Doesn't Viego get like her passive and everything too?
Viego doesn't get her passive, I don't think.
Yeah, I guess that would be broken, wouldn't it?
That would be so broken, actually. I've never thought about it because I played Viego like 3 times when he released and inted all 3 times and said never again. It's like, not for me. That champ's not for me. I'm like,
Funny.
take me back to my island. I'm going back to top lane. I'm going back to support. I don't want to deal with any of this, you know?
Mhm.
All right, yeah. Me personally, I already said my piece. I'm very excited for Volibear. They took away like every shield break as well from characters that had shield breaks on Grubs.
Well,
so
the thing is that like these champions would blast Grubs immediately, like especially
Yeah.
Rel, for instance, too. Rel's already a fine jungler, and with her monster modification damage, I mean, is that really gonna hit her that bad? Let's be real. She was one-shotting them.
yeah. I was surprised when I just
So-
saw Blitzcrank get it removed because I was like, man, I haven't seen a Blitzcrank in forever. But I guess if you remove it from one, you got to remove it from them all.
They're gonna bring back the Blitz jungle just to take Grubs.
Oh, hey.
We played that at UPL at one point. The last UPL split, Blitz jungle.
Did you do that?
Yeah, we had this was back with CB Gaming, so our jungler Aaron played it, and we played versus SLU, I think, or it was Wild West Bandits. I forget which team.
I'm trying to think if I was casting that because I remember actually a Blitzcrank jungle. I might have actually casted that game, or it might have just been something I was studying because I casted every single split of UPL until it went 6 feet under. RIP.
It was the very last split. I mean, I don't know. We could always grave dig it and look it up, you know.
Yeah. Do you guys
But-
do you guys have a league that you guys get to play in now? Now that like there's no UPL or anything like that, is there like a league that you get to jump into?
So
Aegis.
there's ACL. It's pretty much the new UPL.
Mm.
It's a little bit more organized, which I like. You know, I hope they pay their production staff too. So far, it seems like they do. So we're good there. But everybody who's looking to pretty much play at like a higher level goes to ACL. They kind of do it to prepare for OQs and everything too. And personally, as like a little message to any players who might be watching this looking to go to the next level, I would say if you are looking to make that jump from like Diamond Master, Master GM things to OQ preparations, ACL would be a good place.
I can agree with that. It's good to be able to just play in a team. If you're looking to actually like grow as a player, like learning how to function inside of a team is actually, it's not even just like good mechanically, it's good for maturing, right? Like you get a lot of players who are like super immature. I coached one player who was like a gold player that used to punch his wall when he would lose top lane. Like he would go like 0-4 on Renekton, and low key I would go
Claiming that wall,
dude.
okay?
I would hear it. It was just like bam, and I was just like, dude, what is wrong with you? He's like, my hand is bleeding. I was like, well, yeah, now you can't play the game, like stop.
He can't win lane, but he can win a fight. I like that.
That was his mentality. He's like, I'll win a fight, but. I don't know. He matured really quickly though from being on a team, and he stopped punching walls, which was great. When I was coaching, I was just like, "I'm proud of you. Good stuff. You terrify me." Like,
It's based. Yeah, let me know who that is, so I will never put him on the team. I will never.
wait, I can't just blacklist him like that. I can't just.
Yeah, I think you should. If he's doing that, bro, hey. Nobody should do with that.
But I mean, I think it's just like you said, it's good for maturing. Castle, do you have any advice actually for a player that's looking to like make that next step? Like they're hard stuck at any kind of like rank, but they're trying to get to that next level. Maybe they have aspirations of going competitive.
I think right now, unless you're like kind of already at right below NACL level or in the NACL, I personally wouldn't advise just like trying to go pro in this game anymore. I would say collegiate is probably where you should go. Much safer route than just like all-inning going NACL or LCS. And for collegiate, there's like a lot of resources that you can just Twitter post or like there's Stay Plugged In. There's a bunch of resources out there that can help you find a team that will be right for you and help you take the next step into like at least getting a degree while you're playing. Yeah, that's probably my advice on it.
I like it. It's good advice. It's hard to follow because I mean, if your dream is, to be that player, right? Like, a lot of collegiate players play inside of the NACL Open qualifiers, right? Like, we do see a lot of those go in. It's hard. We're recording this on the 15th of February, which infamous thing dropped inside of Open qualifiers, right? And you saw how
our opponent, bro.
You could see how quickly things change too, right? The landscape changes in an instance at the current moment in time. It's a very wild time. I know. My co-host here was looking forward to the matchup.
I wanted to play him so bad, bro. With all that hype they had, bro, if we beat them,
that would have been kings.
We would have been community champions. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. It passes. Like, we had that in dude, I'm trying to remember which year it was. It was either 2021 or 2022. There was like a fan favorite team that was like going throughout all of it, and they got like stopped hard inside of quarters. And it just turned every single person that was a fan of that team immediately jump ship to the team that beat them. I was like, dude, they just 2-0'd your favorite team. And you guys are like, yeah, they're the only ones that could beat us. If they're the champions, we only lost to the champions. It's great.
Yeah, they're my defense.
It is very sad that they like that ended up happening just because like, it's cool to see if they would end up losing semis or like how like interesting it would have been if they won the entire thing. Like, I think this would have been the first time that like it's actually a shocker who won the OQ. Like, normally before the OQ even starts, you can instantly pick out like, oh, here's these 4 or 5 teams. Like, one of these teams is going to win OQ, and like for their team, I think they were seeded like 17 or 18 if they would have
14.
Actually, 14, yeah, to actually been able to push through and end up winning the whole thing. Like, it would have been really cool to see, but unfortunately, stuff happens.
What can you do?
Those players are definitely talented, which it is what it is.
Yeah, I hope I get to see them again in the very near future. They're all part of different CLO programs, correct? So, like, I think all 5 players...
Do they do CLO?
I think they're a part of... They might not be in CLO because I remember there's student visas and whatnot that are involved, right? Like, so hopefully we
have student visas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're on a couple random like club teams and stuff. I don't think any of them are on
CLO.
like... Yeah, like the CLO the schools known as CLAW schools or stuff. I think they're just on like club teams.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see, like, if possibly they ever do find themselves in like one of the big CLO programs, because you do see shifts happen around inside of that. We saw it with Scary Jerry going from Peach Belt to Maryville, right? Like, nobody knew who Scary Jerry was until Peach Belt like took over and took down numerous teams, and everybody was like, "What's happening?" I was talking to like some of the people over in like South Conference, and they were just like, dude, we usually meme about Peach Belt. What's happening? What's going on? What is different this year? So I hope that these players, maybe they got discovered through this, and hopefully it leads to greener pastures for them. But with that, I mean, I honestly, with everything going forward for this week, you guys have any words that you guys have to say for any opponents coming up this week? Because I get to go into the caster booth. I have to stay unbiased. I just want to see some good matchups. I just want to see bangers.
GVU plays ONU this weekend. No crazy words. They were pretty upset that we weren't playing on roll. Like, they really wanted us to play on roll against them at the LAN. Now's their chance. They get to play against us on roll. Hopefully all their like excitement and need to play us on roll is satisfied after this weekend, I guess.
You're so BM. You're so BM, bro. Come on. Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I like to play the advocate. I totally get it. Like if you're like strung up and you're like, I want to take down one of the best teams, you know, like you want to face them at the best. I get the mentality. I get what the idea is, you know. But it was still a fun matchup, so I'm perfectly happy still on that. So how about you? You guys have one match on Friday, right?
We play against. Okay, man. Look, we play against Cornell.
Yes.
If you want my honest opinion on it, I think it should be a relatively easy match. I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just the way it is.
The standings.
Yes. I'm fine to be proven wrong, and I hope Cornell truly makes it a challenge for us.
Yeah.
But
I'm hoping.
My jungle will not be on Darius support this time. We are playing a serious match. We will play to end that game fast.
I am actually very excited. My matchup to watch, actually, inside of that would definitely be top lane, because I think Eliza has shown themselves to be one of the best players that they play unorthodox stuff. But then I see Prank, and I'm like, Prank is like also just like, I'm gonna play Gwen if you leave it open. I'm gonna play Darius. I'm gonna stomp lane really hard. Like, so it'll be good to watch at the very least and kind of get an idea to gauge everything. Thanks again, everyone, for coming on in. We weren't going to have an MEC pod this week, so give a shout out to the boy over here, flying the colors from Purdue Northwest, coming in clutch, saying,
"Come on,
we need an MEC pod." So you know what? We got our MEC pod 2.75. You know, coming in hot.
In 3/4, we got you.
Yeah, 3/4. Yeah, we got it.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah. Just like Harry Potter. Dude, it's been a pleasure to get to have you guys on. And I've been trying to cook up some stuff with them to get more players involved in more different content pieces. So hopefully we'll get to have you guys on for some funner bits to come around and talk more about the league.
Of course. Whenever you need, you can have any of my players. I got you.
I'm going to take you up on that. The one player that doesn't want to be called up, getting them.
Perfect. I look forward to it.
Castle, do I have the same word? Can I just drag Jinqual whenever I want?
I have my players on my team. Like if you get them on an interview or a camera, they want to kill you. So unfortunately, I don't think you'll be getting much more than me, to be honest. Like I'm fine doing it, but most of my teammates aren't a fan of the interviews.
I get it, dude. I get it. I remember we had Jinqual, and Jinqual was like, I got forced here because I got a pentakill. I'm never getting a pentakill again. All right, well, I'm going to let y'all get back to y'all's, what y'all got cooking in the background. I know y'all got stuff to prep for the coming up week. Appreciate you all for coming on in. And appreciate the people who came on by and viewed this on up. Make sure you take care of yourselves. We'll be back to our normal MEC pod. We'll have Matt Dewey and Shibby coming back through next week for some fun shenanigans. So make sure you tune in, and we will catch you there.
Take care, boys.